Hello everyone. From now onwards, we are going to start a series which will be mainly focusing on previous year questions for exam going students of general medicine department. So I will be solving at least one question in a video in a very short span of time. So we will be mainly focusing on the points so that every day after watching this short video, you should be able to extract some 8 to 10 points to write it in a theory paper. So we are starting with January 2025 question paper. So paper number 1, question asked about hypersensitivity reaction. So this is mainly Jan 2025 general medicine paper 1. So this is paper 1. First question was hypersensitivity reaction. Here, to understand this and to mention special points. See, immunity is good, but exaggerated immunity, or inappropriate immunity, which is harming self, which is harming our own tissues, will be not good. So that is nothing but hypersensitivity reaction. In the sense, we know that as the armamentarium of our immunity, there will be antibodies and different cells. For example, to list few, we know that there will be IgA, IgE, IgG, IgM antibodies, even some cells, for example, B cell, T cell. So all these things are involved in our immunity. So in case of hypersensitivity, these cells or these compounds will be in an excitatory phase, like they will be in a state to attack our own tissues. So they will be having some abnormally exaggerated. So this is the basic thing. Now there are 4 types of hypersensitivity reaction. So we will understand each type and we will see the example for each one. So mainly type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. So this is, we call it with anaphylaxis. We generally claim this group as anaphylaxis. So here, just now we listed out the immune cells. Among those, we can consider IgE as in exaggerated stage. So as we all know, there will be some allergen exposure. So there will be some allergen exposure. So over 10 to 15 days, formation of IgE will happen. Forms over 10 to 15 days. So if the person is prone to have this type 1 hypersensitivity genetically, then these IgE will go and will be placed over the surface of mast cells. So when there is exposure to the same allergen for the second time, there will be exaggerated response from these IgE over the mast cell. And you have to know that these mast cells are located near blood vessels, near epithelial cells, and near mucosa. So when there is overstimulation of this mast cell, it will release histamine, and this will lead to multiple reactions. For example, there will be vasogenic reaction leading to vasodilation and anaphylactic or distributive type of shock. Then there will be spasmogenic reaction. Here, majority of the smooth muscles will get contracted. That's why they might have sudden breathlessness, sudden dyspnea in many cases. And there will be skin rashes also. So these will be the manifestations. So this is the overall mechanism of type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. And from this explanation, you might be now able to guess what diseases are listed under type 1 hypersensitivity. So the examples are allergic rhinitis, allergic conjunctivitis, allergic asthma, and any medication related anaphylaxis. These are all considered under type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. Coming to type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. So here in type 2, we can consider cytotoxic, and here the exaggerated cells or the system will be mainly IgM or IgG antibodies. So the mechanism here is there will be a fixed antigen. So in our body there will be a fixed antigen, and against this antigen IgM or IgG antibodies will be overreacting or over responding. So free antibody of IgM or IgG will go and target that particular fixed antigen, and meanwhile when these antibodies targeted antigen, they will recruit even macrophages. So macrophage recruitment can also be seen, macrophage recruitment, and this macrophage will engulf this antigen. This is the thing in type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. So this is commonly seen in case of hemolytic anemias, hemolytic anemia. Here antigen over the RBC will be fixed, and some abnormal response by IgM and IgG will target this antigen, leading to hemolysis. Similarly, autoimmune thrombocytopenia. Again, antigen is fixed over the platelets, and it will get damaged by IgM or IgG. Similarly, there will be glomerulonephritis. You can consider acute rheumatic fever, and even Graves' disease, where thyroid hormone receptor cells will be targeted by autoantibodies. Even type 1 diabetes we can consider, type 1 diabetes. So these are some examples of type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. Coming to type 3. So in type 3, we can group this type as immune complex associated group. So here mainly antigen antibody will form a complex, and even complement system is involved. So to understand the mechanism, here both antigen and antibody will be free. Nothing is fixed in the cells. So both free antigen and free antibody, they will form a complex, antigen antibody complex. This will stimulate complement system, and in this reaction there will be in the blood vessel contraction of the endothelial cells will occur. So because of this contraction and some degree of vasodilation, these antigen antibody complexes will leak out of the vessel complex, and they will be deposited in the interstitium. So this will be happening throughout the body. So most often this type 3 hypersensitivity reaction, whatever the diseases come under this section, will be leading to systemic manifestations. So commonest example for this one is systemic lupus erythematosus and even rheumatoid arthritis. And we know that in these two there will be many systemic manifestations like fever, arthralgia, pleuritis, pericarditis, joint pain, and other system involvement. So all these are systemic manifestations. And here one more thing is this leaked out antigen antibody complex will stimulate fibrinoid necrosis. So in this fight of immunity, some type of hypersensitivity reaction will leave their hallmark as a representation of their group. So here in type 3, it will be mainly fibrinoid necrosis, which is a hallmark feature of type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. Coming to type 4. So type 4 is grouped mainly as delayed type of reaction. So delayed type of reaction. This will be mainly cell mediated. Cell mediated. In the beginning we told that along with all these antibodies, there might be chances of exaggerated response by numerous cells, mainly helper T cell here. Helper T cell. So to understand the mechanism in type 4 hypersensitivity reaction, whenever there is entry of antigen into the body, first the first line immune system will try to attack it. So neutrophils, even macrophages, monocytes will try to neutralize this antibody there itself. But when they are not able to do so, part of the antigen will be engulfed. Part of antigen engulfed by macrophage, and it will be presented to helper T cell as antigen presenting cell to helper T cell. Then this helper T cell will get activated and it will lead to secretion of many inflammatory cytokines, leading to formation of granuloma and finally neutralizing the antigen. So this is the overall process happening here. So the hallmark of this type 4 hypersensitivity reaction will be granuloma formation, and example for this type 4 is tuberculin skin test. Tuberculin skin test. Even we can consider contact dermatitis. Contact dermatitis as classical examples. So if we consider the group names, we can easily remember all these types with the first letters, that is anaphylaxis A, cytotoxic I and D. So this will be acid. This is a famous mnemonic for remembering hypersensitivity reactions. Hope you got the points, the mechanisms and particular examples in each group. So this is about question number 1, hypersensitivity reaction. We'll meet in next video. Thank you.